Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria Restart video. So in today's video, guys, as promised, we've got an Inferno DokiDoki team. We've got an Inferno NicoNana team. We also have a Hell 4 Aurora team without any LD SSRs. As promised, I had showed off Kachi the guard in his own separate video, and I told you he was amazing and you should build him. And one of the comments in there was, oh, it's just because you're using Lily. Which I'm actually glad I got that comment, because it allows me to show you guys that you really don't have an excuse even if you don't have LD SSRs. Because in my opinion, this team, like these teams, are better. They really are. I think they're better than just using a Lily or a Messiah or a DokiDoki. And it's kind of a lot more fun, to be honest, to really put together a team that can mesh well and still beat, some pretty difficult content. So we're going to roll the clip here of DokiDoki. So this is Inferno DokiDoki. This is the team that I got going here, which is Kachi the guard, Kazuyo the reverie, Sukiomi, Shiada, and Lingluo. The shells here are also very important, and we'll go over the team after we go over the Inferno NicoNana run as well, and maybe even the Aurora run, so stay tuned for that. But this is the actual run. So all of the ads are faster than my team, okay? And I don't know why this isn't going away. All right. So Sukiomi's skill 3 is just absolutely bonkers. 100% turn meter boost to the target, along with a 35% turn meter boost to her, is absolutely cracked. That, in my opinion, is way better than Lily's twin trick. A lot of Lily's value comes in the fact that she can do joint attacks with her skill 1, right? She does have a cooldown reduction of the person who has twin trick, but Sukiomi on her skill 2 has a cooldown reduction of all of your animuses and all of the shells. So if you see, like Lingluo's shell going off a lot, or Sukiomi's shell going off a lot. Well, not Sukiomi. She doesn't reduce hers. Sorry. Kazuyo the Reverie's like Gigabyte, where she just keeps turn meter boosting herself. It's because of Sukiomi. She keeps reducing the cooldown of that shell. Sukiomi's skill 2 isn't even leveled up either. It's her skill 1 and her skill 3 right now. I wanted to see how much I could do without reducing the skill 2. I might need the skill 2 for Aurora Inferno. But also reducing the cooldown on Revelation for Shiada is super key. And we'll talk about people that you can replace and things like that after all of these videos. But I just wanted to show you the runs. Now, Kachi the guard here as well is a very important piece, because one of the reasons why these runs usually fail is because these minions will have like stun or turn meter pushback, which is what that middle guy just tried to do to Shiada. So the immunity is huge, but defense down cannot be ignored on these higher up dungeons. Like every bit of sustain is so important. So this team, like I've done 5 runs. I know it's a small sample size, but I haven't lost yet. So I'm sure there's going to be some RNG involved, and it's not 100%. It might be 70% or 80%, but in my opinion, that is certainly good enough for Inferno. We'll talk about the shells and why they're important, but if you're wondering how I'm doing so much damage on Shiada, it is because of her shell revelation. It procs every single hit. And I'll talk about that towards the end of the video whenever we're going over the individual characters. But you see here, Sukiomi's like turn meter push to Shiada is killer. Watch this. Boom. It's just absolutely awesome. But the entire team kind of matters here. You need the slumber from, the Kazuyo, the defense up and immunity for 2 turns from the Kachi the guard. Super important. He also increases the shields for the artisan shell. Like it's absolutely insane. So that's team 1, which is DokiDoki Inferno. Now, this is NicoNana Inferno. So another hero that I said I really wanted to build was Viper. Just look at the amount of times Viper counterattacks, removes debuffs, puts up the attack down and the speed down on this boss. All of the damage here as well is just coming from Revelation. So that means that there are plenty of other options that you can use instead of Shiada. I love Shiada. I think she's an amazing character, but there's tons of options here. I think Rin the Unbowed, which is an SR, can clear this, like, easily, because the speed difference is the key. And my Shiada, even though she's getting boosts from Sukiomi with the speed and stuff like that, it's still not enough for her to do enough damage unless Revelation procs. So all of the damage is really coming from Revelation again, because the speed difference between Shiada and the boss is negligent. And also, if you guys don't really know what's going on here, this is the reason why I put out those Shell Dungeon videos, is for you to understand the mechanics of this and why these team members are so important. Even though at the time I wasn't showing like Inferno stages, but understanding those mechanics allowed me to know which heroes I needed to level up to beat this. So I think Lingluo is really fantastic here. Even if the stun does kind of hit us every once in a while, she just has enough healing with the immunity to really get the job done, where you don't need Kachi the Guard. I think in later stages where you have better gear and you want to kind of speed farm this for the shell drops, that's where you could probably sub in Kachi the Guard to put up the immunity, because you don't want to get stunned. That's the big thing. So this is the entire run. We are just trying to stay as healthy as we can, keep the immunity up from Lingluo, keep all of the buffs and the speed up off of this boss with Viper, and we're waiting for Revelation to kind of just kick back around. But Viper is just like so amazing here. He is always removing buffs and always putting speed down on this boss and the minions who buffed the boss. He has two extremely relevant debuffs on this, along with a debuff of 2 turns. So you saw we got a really good Revelation proc there. It took the boss down by like 15%, 20%. Super key. Now here the boss has the attack up and speed up, which is really scary, and that's where you kind of need Viper to just go in and do his thing. So we've got the speed up now, we've got the boost, but we're at full health. So we don't have the debuffs off this time, and that hurt. That took our HP down a good chunk, but we healed it back up because of Lingluo's shell. So there's a lot of things kind of like meshing and going on here. But also, I've done this maybe 5 or 6 times and no fails. So I think this is an extremely clean run. There's certainly a chance where this fails, considering that Viper could miss, maybe 1 or 2 key dispels. But yeah, I'm so impressed with all these characters. I had a game plan going into 2 times because I knew in theory they could work, but seeing them in action is just, I don't know, it's quite satisfying, to be honest. So, yeah, and then right now I'm running Aurora Hell 4 in the background, so you'll be able to see that team here in a second. But it's just anytime the boss has this buff up, we just go in and we strip it until we finally clear this. Now, again, not a super fast run, but efficient, clean, and the better shells we get, right? The more shells we get, the better passives that we roll, all of those things, it's just going to work out in our favor. So here's my Aurora Hell 4 team. I'm still working out the kinks with Inferno, but I'm pretty sure I know what I have to do there too. And I'll probably save that for another video. So here's the Aurora team. I've got Viper again. I've got Shiada again. I've got Sukiomi again. And I've got Lingluo again. In Hell 4, You can run another healer instead of Valerian, but Valerian pairs really well with Shiata. That's why I'm running her here. But the Viper, super key because the boss gains attack and does additional damage based on its attack. So if you can put attack down, his stacks or her stacks don't really hurt as much when it comes to the damage. It's one of the things, one of the mechanics of this dungeon. So you see here, like, my team is super, super healthy, and Health 4 is extremely easy. So I have not failed a run here yet either. So those are the teams, guys. Like I said, no SSR LDs needed. You just need to invest in the right characters, and you can get it done. So let's talk about the heroes, okay? Because the gear to beat Inferno stages, I think people should know that you're going to need some solid gear, right? So if you're not at this stage because you're a light spender or you're free to play, you should not expect to be at this stage yet. Coming from someone who spends money on the game to progress faster, just the point of these videos is to show you that if you invest in these right characters, you're eventually going to build them up, and whenever you get to these places, none of your resources are going to be wasted. So for the modules for Shiata, like, I'm even missing, the perfect kind of pieces here because my shell is only 2 onslaught and 2 harvest. But we'll show the shell here in a second. So she's got 92% crit rate. She only needs 85 in any of the red dungeons. So in NicoNana, she only needs 85 total. In Aurora, she only needs 85 total because you get a guaranteed 15% if you're the positive affinity. So she has a little bit of crit damage and she has some high attack. So she's got an attack percentage piece here with 3 matrices, and this is where people are going to be like, oh man, it's going to take me a while to get this. Yeah, it took me a while to farm things like this, for sure. And I really don't have a whole lot of pieces like this. Like, I can't put this on all of my damage dealers. I have to swap in between. But the effect accuracy is also quite good on her, and I'll show her prowess because I think in order to beat higher stages or get even more consistent runs, you're going to have to fully skill up her skill 3 as well. So I got an attack bonus here, an attack bonus here with some effect accuracy, HP, and crit damage. And then I've got crit rate with crit damage and effect accuracy. Also, the flat attack isn't a bad thing to have on here. Attack percentage would be better, but don't disregard flat attack either. So the harvest, we're getting the harvest module bonus, and then we have plus 10 on the onslaught. So if we go up to plus 12, this is one thing that I don't know if a lot of you understand or have seen, but sometimes when you throw too much damage, like, your run won't work because you don't loop back around fast enough to some of your skill cooldowns. So I'm kind of like hesitant to change this right now since Inferno DokiDoki is working for me. So that is the right side. On the left side here, I've got crit rate, speed. I've got speed, crit rate, crit damage, and I've got crit rate, attack percentage, and crit damage with some bad rolls into the HP. This is a pretty replaceable piece. When it comes to the shell, Revelation, this is what I was talking about. So it says, before the owner takes action, it enables each crit hit dealt by the owner Animus in this turn to deal additional indirect real damage equal to 12% of the target's max HP. On Inferno stages, Hell 4 stages, the enemies have a lot of HP. Total damage dealt per hit cannot exceed 180% of self-attack. So what this does is, if you can max out the 180% attack to have it equal, sorry, my phone's going off, to have it equal the 12% of the max HP on the enemies, then that's where you're doing your maximum amount of damage. Now, this is on each crit, Okay? This was important for what I was saying on her skill 3. So on her skill 3, it says each time her soul flames evolve, right? Everyone knows kind of how Shiata works with her soul evolutions on her passive. Every 3 buffs she gets another soul flame. So she can evolve 3 times after she gets 9 total buffs. And this increases her attack and her crit damage if she's fully skilled up, which mine is. So it deals 1 additional hit for each soul flame. So that's 3 additional hits. So you have the chance of proccing Revelation 4 times. Her original hit, and then the 3 additional hits from her soul flames leveling up. So Revelation has a chance to proc 4 times whenever it's off the cooldown. So that's why this shell is amazing. So when you're looking for other heroes that have the possibility of doing multiple hits as your damage dealer, like let's see Rin the Unbowed. What does she do? So she deals 2 hits, right? This actually isn't a bad hero to have Revelation on. The more hits, the better. How many hits does this do? This deals 3 hits. You see what I'm saying? Oboro, how many hits does she do? It looks like just single damage. She does a 2-hitter on her skill 1, but she's probably not a good choice for Revelation. And you obviously wouldn't use her in something like DokiDoki Inferno. You'd probably use her in NicoNana. So that's Shiata, okay? All of those things that I mentioned, and I know I'm droning on and I know it's a long video, but all of those things are really important to understand. That's why it ends up working. So all of her skills right now, her skill 3 is unleveled, but she does have the prowess in these areas. Her skill 2 is fully leveled. This one's so important. Not only does she get tons of crit rate here, right? She gets 15% crit rate. But whenever she hits the skill level 5 on her skill 2, each evolution increases her crit damage as well. It's such an amazing buff to her kit that you probably need it. And here, like, if you wanted to level her up and get 15% more attack and then the chance to steal buffs, this could be quite good in future content. I don't think you need it for where you're at right now. The problem is with the team compositions that I'm showing, she levels up to her soul flames really fast, so she just ults every turn. So she doesn't even utilize this. What would end up being really strong for this is just the 15% attack. But those are her, that's her entire kit. So when it comes to Kachi the Guard, I told you guys that I was going to level up this character almost entirely. I need at least the 9 speed from his prowess 1 because you need him to cook. You need him to go very, very fast, especially in these endgame stages. So that's where he's doing his skill 2 fully leveled up. Having 100% chance to inflict speed down as well as the turn meter push and reducing the skill cooldown to 3 turns on Kachi the Guard, absolutely amazing. Okay? And then his skill 3 fully leveled up. The effect accuracy is really important to trigger his critical success. I have a whole video on Kachi the Guard. You should go watch that if you want to. From his module standpoint, I just have him on Swift Rush. What would be ideal for him is Swift Rush Time Weave, but the shell that he's using, Codex of Magic, actually doesn't have Time Weave as one of the matrices available to him. But because this is such a strong shell that allows his skill 3 to be used 2 times in a row, it's totally worth it because you are increasing the buff duration of everything that is put on you. And we're using a lot of heroes that put on buffs. If you use them with Valerian, she's putting on a new buff. Sukiomi puts up attack up and speed up. So he's also increasing the duration of that. If you're using him with Lingluo, Lingluo puts up whale prayers on her skill 1, right? On her skill 1, she's putting up these whale prayers, which recover max HP. And that can be up to 5 stacks, so you're increasing that. It's just absolutely amazing on Codex of Magic. And the max effect accuracy that you need on him is 183%. So you're just building him with a bunch of accuracy. You're building him with as much speed as you can get and as much bulk as you can get. I already talked about his shell. Oh, I did not show the shell passive. So we got a really great roll on here. We got a mid roll on the crit damage, and then we also have the mid roll for the odd animus final damage dealt. So on the Shiada. And here we're using the focus roll to get over the 182% effect accuracy mark for our Kachi the Guard. He's got defense percent, and then if he didn't deal damage, he reduces the final damage taken. And since he uses his skill 3 at the very beginning of the rounds, he ends up having 5% reduced damage taken by the second turn. So really cool, right? So yeah, that is Kachi the Guard. Now Sukiomi. This chick rocks. Like, it says Queen Bee here. She's totally Queen Bee. She is awesome. I like reading this hero's kit. I wanted to build her, but I didn't need to because of Lily. But now she's like one of my favorite characters, even though I've only been playing her for like 5 hours. So her skill 3, fully leveled up. This is one of the most bonker skills. Even though it's on a 4-turn cooldown, like this needs to be on a 4-turn cooldown because it's just so crazy. The 100% turn meter boost to whoever you're targeting. So if you want a manual, you don't need to target your damage dealer. You can put like a Kachi the Guard up front. You can put up your Kazuyo the Reverie up front to make sure that she's looping around to her slumbers so the guys don't even hit you. This isn't the person with the highest attack. You can target anyone you want. But then she boosts her own turn meter by 35%. This is just absolutely insane. She loops around to this so fast, it's nuts. And then 2 extremely relevant buffs, attack up and speed up to all allies. Her skill 2, which I would eventually like to level up, is really great too because the silence is a form of crowd control. So if your Kazuyo the Reverie dies, I had that happen once, we were able to still kill the enemy because of the revelation procs from Shiada and because Kazuyo was silencing the enemies. Now, this also reduces all of your animus skill cooldowns and shell skill cooldowns by 1 turn for all other allies. It does not affect hers. That'd be way too good. But this skill being able to be on a 4-turn cooldown would be awesome. And then this skill I leveled up fully. I don't know if you need to, but I think in theory I'm going to need it for Aurora Inferno, which is any time that she uses her skill 1, she increases the turn meter of the ally with the highest attack. This one is only the ally with the highest attack. It is not a target, right? So this is boosting your Shiada by 25% every time she uses this. So we have her on Bramble and Swift Rush. Ideally, you want her on Swift Rush Time Weave so you can keep looping back around to those really powerful skill 2 and skill 3. But this is working for us because the counterattack with her basic attack is actually quite strong when it comes to boosting our Shiada in all of these runs. You want her cooking, right? You want her really, really quick. She's even too slow right now. She probably needs to be around like 280. And I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I'm going to try. So I've got her in a little bit of defense, although this is how she scales her damage. She's not like a true damage dealer. So the only reason I'm running this is because it was a decent roll on the speed and the HP, and I needed the other Swift Rush pieces on like Kachi the Guard, on Lingluo, and things like that. So this Bramble piece is HP percentage with a little bit of a speed roll, but this isn't a very good piece. And then here I have her on crit rate to, again, kind of help with a little bit of damage. But as soon as I get like an HP piece with speed on it, I will certainly switch this out because she is purely there for support. And more defense will build into her shell's passive, which is Artisan. We'll show that in a second here. So I've got some effect accuracy and speed just in case the Kazuyo the Reverie dies. Here we've got speed. This is the only reason I'm using this piece. And then same thing here, speed and some defense percentage. So her prowess, I showed you her skill 1 fully leveled up. This is where she gets the 15 speed. It's really important. Here, she gets some effect accuracy, which is whatever, but I wanted the skill cooldown as well as the 100% turn meter boost. So I think the skill 3 is the most important. The skill 2 might be more important than the skill 1, but the 15 speed is just really, really necessary. And then on her shell, we've got Artisan with Swift Rush and Bramble, which is how I'm able to make my modules work. So I've got reduces the Animus's final damage taken by 6.5%. I got a 9 roll on speed, so this can roll up to 20. Also, since I'm able to farm NicoNana Inferno now, I can find a triple roll on the matrices to get this speed up to 40. So the triple matrix shells on the Inferno stage actually have a speed of 40. So that is huge. I think everyone knows how really strong Artisan is putting up those huge shields. This also allows Kachi the Guard to extend the duration of this shield from 2 turns to 3 turns. So there is some kind of like cheese strategies out there if you wanted to, where you just build a whole bunch of people in Artisan and you have Kachi the Guard like towards the back of the turn order, because this is on a 1-turn cooldown. And when all of the Artisans proc, then Kachi the Guard will then boost up the shields again. So that's kind of neat. And then we've got an HP roll here. So that is Sukiomi. Now Viper. Viper's another one that I was telling you guys that I was going to be targeting for the 2X. When it comes to his prowesses, everything is fully skilled up. This is why Viper, I think, is OP right now for me, is because he starts with those 2 stacks of Serpent Skin. Every 4 stacks that he gets, he then counters with his ultimate. He also gets 12 speed here, which is really important. His skill 3, I think, is really important to level up as well, because you can dispel 2 buffs. This is really important for NicoNana. And it reduces his skill cooldown from 4 turns to 3. He's using that skill all the time, and he gets effect accuracy on his what was I saying there? I lost my train of thought. Oh, effect accuracy is needed for his skill 3 to dispel. His skill 2 also fully leveled up just for the additional defense and the damage reduction whenever a boss crits, and that's whenever he's counterattacking with a 60% chance when he receives a crit. So I'm running him on Gigabyte to really progress his turns, and the nice thing about Gigabyte is that Sukiomi reduces oh wow, sorry. I said she can reduce the skill cooldown of Gigabyte. It does not have a cooldown. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There's not a whole lot that Sukiomi is doing with these teams, I guess, other than Revelation, reducing the cooldown of Revelation and reducing the cooldown of Lingluo shell, which we'll see here in a second. So apologize for that. So every 3 actions, you're boosting your turn meter by 35%. Just being able to loop back your Viper around is really key. If the Animus didn't deal damage, this is pretty useless on him. Ideally, you would have something like, if he's like the fastest hero in the team, he takes reduced damage. So we got a good speed roll here, and we got some HP. His modules, he's in Time Weave Swift Rush. Again, if you had better matrices here, where you had 3 and 3, and then you had a shell also with Time Weave on it, you could get 12 and 12 on your modules, and you could reduce his ultimate skill cooldown even more. So we're running effect accuracy with some nice speed rolls, effect accuracy with more speed, HP with some speed and effect accuracy, all good pieces. Here we got speed, defense percentage. This is probably some of my best gear, to be honest. We got some speed, HP, and we got speed, crit rate, crit damage. I already showed his prowess, and I showed the shell. So that's him. Okay, we're close to the end here. I think this is basically everyone. I don't think I missed anybody. Sukiomi, Kachi the Guard, Valerian, Shiada. Yeah. Oh, and then we'll show Kazuyo. All right, so Lingluo, free hero, and I'm sorry that this video is long. Only 5 stars. She doesn't have any skills in her, but she is kind of fast. So we've got Wellspring and we've got Swift Rush. We've got HP percentage with a little bit of defense. We've got HP percentage and a little bit of speed with the Wellspring. And we've got HP percentage only on level 12 as well, with nothing relevant on the rolls here. We've got a good speed roll on the Wellspring. I still need to tick that up. Here, we just have a little bit of speed. This isn't really a nice piece, to be honest. And then this one, we've got some decent speed and a little bit of HP as well. Now, Lingluo, as I mentioned, she does the immunity as well. She's the only other character in the game outside of Kachi the Guard that has the immunity buff. Hellkid has it on his unique buff. But this is awesome for any time the immunity might fall off from Kachi the Guard. It's also a great heal. On her skill 2, she also extends all of the buffs. So your Artisans, your Kachi the Guard, defense up, speed up, attack up from your Sukiomi, all those things. And it can also extend her Whale Prayers. If you skilled this up and you had it to a 2-turn, that's whenever this would be really, really strong. Like I said, only up to the point where you need to lattice her is where we have the prowesses. Oh, she does have an additional copy for the healing, but I don't think this truly matters, especially on the Inferno mode, whenever the max HP is kind of destroyed. And if you're using this shell on her, I also don't think it's super relevant. But we only have the Swift Rush matrices applying here. We have a great HP roll, and we have a good speed roll. This is something that I still need to reroll, but as you see, we're kind of capped on the training data. So that is Lingluo. And then last but not least is Kazuyo the Reverie. She is in Swift Rush Time Weave as well. She's cooking at about 172% accuracy with 230 speedish. We've got effect accuracy. We've got crit rate. This is only here for the triple Time Weave matrix and a little bit of speed. Here we have effect accuracy and a speed roll. Here we've got a little bit of speed and effect accuracy. Here, speed and HP. And then here we got speed. So that's Kazuyo. We have her skill 3 fully leveled up. That's where you get the effect accuracy and the skill cooldown on her skill 3 for the slumber, right? That's your crowd control for DokiDoki. I do have, final damage taken reduced by 10%, and then the effect accuracy. So all of the additional copies of these characters, I think all of the SRs are fully evolved, or, they have all of their dupes. So you do need to take those things into effect as well. And then her skill 2 is just leveled up here. There is a possibility where this is worth leveling for the additional defense and the turn meter pushback on this skill, as that could matter. And then also leveling this up to get more speed and increase the slumber duration and increase the percentage chance of it. This comes in clutch sometimes. And then the shell she's using is Gigabyte. She has the Time Weave roll here. It'd be even better if she had like Swift Rush, but she's got HP, speed, and effect accuracy that increases time over time. And the Gigabyte is Awakened. So, guys, long video. I wanted to explain everything I possibly could, but I'm excited to show you this video. I really am, because it just shows that you don't need those SSR LDs. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for droning. I wanted to show everything in detail just in case people are wondering how it was done, but that's what I got for you. Okay, I appreciate all of the support as always. Thanks for checking out the video. Catch you on the next one. See ya.